What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So today we're gonna go do a little rescue. Got the trailer hooked up to the truck. We're gonna go rescue I think it's an early 90s Jeep Cherokee. It's a friend of mine. She hasn't had it running in 4 or 5 years. She'd like to get it back on the road. So I'm gonna do the friendly thing that I'm good at and see if we can get this thing drivable again so she can do stuff with it. So it's about a 30-minute drive to where we gotta go. So I'll see you when we get there. All right, we made it here to one of the local truck stops. Got a Jeep on the trailer. So now we'll head back home, get it off, and see what I'm getting myself into. I'll get better video. I didn't film anything loading it because she's not too fond of being on camera. So let's hit the road. All right, so we are finally home. Haven't taken off the trailer yet because I'm trying to get it running before I do that, because parking at my tiny house is kind of hectic sometimes. So let's go ahead and take a nice look at this fine unit. She's been sitting since like 2017-ish. You can tell. Supposedly she's washed it the last year or so, but I find that hard to believe. So we'll come up yonder. 6 liter 4.0. It's a 91. Got the battery up on the charger. Battery's actually only like a year old. I did notice it does have possible head studs. Possibly. Throttle body spacer. This sweet air intake. Before we get started, I'd like to check the fluids on it. It's gonna need some oil. Smells fuel soaked. Not surprised. They've been trying to start it a while ago and it just didn't want to go. So let's check transmission fluid. Holy Jesus, that's brown. So I guess we'll have to talk to them about addressing that. Probably do a filter and fluid flush. Can only imagine what the transfer case looks like. Oh, about coolant. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Chunks. Okay. There's some green I see. Power steering fluid. It's got fluid. I know they did convert it to non-ABS, or she did, I should say, years ago. Let's take a look on the inside. you know, typical Jeep stuff. No carpet, ripped up seats. The smell in here, I mean, I've smelled worse, but it smells like an old car. It's been sitting for a while. See, it's got 225,000 miles. So she's just broken, you know. There's a little bit of a wiring disaster. It does have a lift and a wonderful wood grain that flakes off. Back here, looks like it's got a small shackle and a 4-inch block. I'm not a huge fan of blocks, but you know, it is what it is. It's got a sweet cherry bomb exhaust with a Cadillac converter. Let's see. Supposedly the fuel filter was changed. Yeah, that was changed. Needs bump stops. Say it's got a few oil leaks. But my main goal with this is just to get it running and get it suitable for her to drive with her kids so she can take it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that battery charge up, and we'll see if we can get any thunder to happen under the old power barn. So I'm being really impatient. So I want to see if anything actually even works on this damn thing. So bring out the old handy dandy jumper pack, because I have the battery charger hooked up, but it's gonna be one of those gonna take a minute deal. And I want to see if we have anything at the dash or whatever, things of that nature. All right. Turn it on. All right, they're on. Let's see if we can get this thing to make some noise. Really hope I don't fall off this fucking trailer at some point. So I'm sure it will happen. All right. Still smells terrible in here. If I can find the key. Oh, the door work? Whoo, would you look at that? Typical Jeep. Slow. All right, let's see what we can get to go. Maybe we'll give her some ether. I don't even hear necessarily the fuel pump running, so that could be an issue. Let's grab some fire, make it happener, or some sort of stuff of that nature. We'll hit her with some old brake clean, see if she'll pop off. Hoping it's simple, but probably not, because I like to take on things that are a nightmare occasionally. Get rid of the old. It's probably a little overkill. See what we can get to happen. Concerns me that like the volt gauge isn't working. Turn signals do. Does have oil pressure. And I don't smell any smoke, so that's a plus. Wonder if we got any pressure up the fuel rail at all by chance. I don't know if there's like a little test relief valve or anything. All right, well, I'm gonna start, I guess I'll start checking fuses and see if maybe we have bad fuse or there's something funky going on because the volt gauge isn't working and I don't think the fuel pump's working. So let me dig into that and I'll get back to you. All right, see if we can figure out this wonderful Chrysler wiring, you know, because we're so great. That's just wires. Really curious. So that's probably for the amp or the, yeah, what this goes to. So I've already checked the outside fuse box. There's nothing blown there. So I'm gonna start checking in here, figure out what's blown, what's not blown, all that fun stuff. God, it smells terrible in here. At least it's got power and the dang thing didn't catch on fire. So I'm gonna do some more snooping and see if we can find any other potential issue. All right, so far I've replaced 2 fuses. Not really helping anything, and then the horn fuse, the horn is actually stuck, so that's cool, but the wiring's not as bad as I expected, I guess. I'll address that eventually, but I didn't find any blown fuses that would be related to a fuel pump issue. So I guess the next thing we'll do is climb under the truck and see if we have voltage to the pump, and we might have to hot wire the pump per se to see if we can get that to work on that aspect, because I think the fuel pump is just not working, if I had to take a wild guess. So I'm gonna go back there and see what I can dig up, and I'll get back to you. So I took the fuel rail feed line to see if it had any fuel. I got a smidge out of it, but I'm curious to see if this thing, the pump, actually works. So we'll give the key a few turns and oh, I guess I need to hook the jump box up. All right, we got the jump box hooked up. We got this back in there. See if we can get this thing to bring up some fuel pressure. Thinking not, but we'll see. I don't hear anything. Oh, I see a little. But I don't know if that's gonna be enough, actual pressure-wise. But then again, I'm used to a Honda where they have really high fuel pressure. So, clip this back on. I mean, that's all that came out of that. So, I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's quite working too well. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the back and see if we can get some voltage numbers and see if we got power to it. Weak power, might hook up like a Milwaukee battery and see if we can get it to prime a little. Or not Milwaukee, but a Ryobi. I'm balling on a budget. Alright, so this is where I'm at. Currently checking battery terminal connections. This one's broke. The ground wire they had coming from the negative side of the battery to this over here, and then this was coming over here, and then the other ground wire ran to the battery. I don't know why they did it like that. I'm really confused when you can just reach from here to here and then ground the body out there. So, and then I need to clean these connections, shorten this one up, and hopefully we'll be able to get some crankage, because I've tested every relay, things of that nature, and coming to the point it's probably the ECM or PCM, whatever you want to call it, has died, which seems to be common. So I'm gonna get some baking soda, hot water. I'll soak these, see if that'll do anything, and if not, I guess we'll be trying to find a PCM. I'm hoping that's not the case. So I've been out here for now probably 6 or 7 hours, just checking everything, you know, doing my thing. I mean, I needed to give a good once over to begin with, so I kind of jumped a few steps, but I figured out the issue. So it's the ignition switch. If you crank it and then, oh, the battery, damn it. So let me get the jump box on and we'll get back to this. All right, as I was saying, it's the ignition switch. Crank it. You hold it just right. As soon as you let it go, it dies. So I picked up a couple ignition switches because it calls for 2 different ones. So I'll go ahead and get the dash pulled down, or the column. We'll get that swapped out and hopefully we'll be ready to rock and roll. On these particular Jeep Cherokees, you got to pull down the steering column, and the switch is right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that replaced, and hopefully we can get this darn thing fired up and off the trailer, because I'm really not designed for, you know, stepping up on the trailer and stuff. All right, let's see what happens. We got lights. I just heard the fuel pump prime. Runs, building oil pressure, volts. Currently, it has a light, but I'm not sure for what. It smells terrible. Running really rich. That's cool. See if we take the battery charger off, if it'll stay running. Excellent. issue. Definitely smells hot. Has a manifold leak. I can hear. Oh, actually the exhaust manifold is actually cracked. So I guess I'm not shocked by that. It's a Jeep thing, I guess. All right, let's go ahead and shut it off. Maybe I'll get it offloaded. All right, so I think that's where we're gonna end this part of the video off for right now. I'm tired. I've been out here for quite a few hours, but she runs again. So that's a plus. Like I said, it was just something simple, a freaking ignition switch, but with these you gotta check everything, and that was one of the last things I didn't check. So I'm just glad it was this and not like the PCM or something. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to end it off here. Like I say, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.